Yeah, and then I would say creatine is a great spot. I mean, I think probably when it was first kind of coming up on the scene as something people were using, it was more like, this is going to put on strength and size, which it does as a byproduct of what it is. So it's not necessarily. But now there's studies that are coming out about how it's beneficial for like brain fog. It can help prevent like Alzheimer's. It can, give you mental clarity, like some crazy benefits to it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, really cool. And I wouldn't want people to miss out on those things, but, yeah. And then for clarity around the muscle building thing, it's not going to like hulk you up, and it's not like you're taking steroids or something like that. It works in the sense that you're getting more energy to expend, and therefore you can push a little bit harder. And because you're pushing a little bit harder as like I said, a byproduct of that effort, then you might see more hypertrophy, strength increase, etc. So it's cool. It's something that I used to knock a lot. Like I would take it and be like, it didn't really do, anything for me. When I actually got serious about taking it for like, 30 days at a time, let's say, and it was really in my system, and then I would stop taking it, like I would notice the difference in my training session. I'd be like, man, I feel weaker. I feel like I don't have that edge. So it's minimal, but it really is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
So
it's an energy source.
Yes.
Creatine is one of the 3 energy sources, or pathways.
It's like a reservoir, right?
Yeah.
Like as it gets stored in the muscle belly, and then it's acts as like that. Once I tap through this within the cell, then I've got this extra to like go into. Yeah. You could probably explain that more clearly. But
yeah, so your body has 3 energy systems. The phosphocreatine system.
Yep.
The, carbohydrate glycolytic system. And then that's the anaerobic, and then aerobic fat burning energy system. So your body can use 3 different things to create ATP, adenosine triphosphate, to use as energy in your cells. First one is creatine, or phosphocreatine technically. Second one is carbohydrate or glycogen, stored carbohydrate. And then the third one is fat, right? So the creatine system acts within that first like 10 seconds. So if you're doing like a 1 to 3 rep max, or you have to memory recall something, your body's using phosphocreatine to like do a short burst of energy.
I had it flipped in the system.
Yeah. So once you get beyond that first like 10, 15 seconds, then your body starts to switch over to burning glycogen or carbohydrate or blood glucose, right? Which are all the same thing. And that lasts for, up to around 30 seconds. And then beyond that, your body switches over to like a fat burning state. So if you are not stored with creatine, if you're not saturated with creatine, then you don't have that energy reserve to keep drawing on.
Yeah.
So that's where the creatine comes in, is like it's literally just an energy source for your body. So if you're lifting heavy, you're going to be able to lift heavy more. You're going to be able to do more heavy sets in a session.
You're going to have more output.
Yeah, you're going to be able to do more heavy sets in a session because you have more creatine to draw from to create that phosphocreatine to shuttle into ATP. So yeah, it's energy for your brain, for your muscles. It's energy for all of your cells, basically, is what it is. You're just storing that. It's so yeah, again, it's not something that's gonna like put muscle on you, but it is an energy source that all of your cells get to use to create energy. So just keeping that saturated, it's not gonna be a bad thing.
No way.
Yeah, there's gonna be benefits from that.
Yeah, and then with all of this said, again, like supplements are, in my mind, they're the last 10%, or the icing on the cake, if you will, to the grand picture. Like really, everything we talk about is it's how can you build sustainable habits around your exercise routine, your nutrition, your sleep regimen, deloading stress. Those things are significantly more important than what supplement you need today. But if you can work on getting those things, sorted out and build balance and quality habits around them, then I think that's where these things can come into play to, really take you to that next level.
Absolutely. And like for me, creatine is something I could leverage more. It's not something that I've taken really consistently for a long time.
That's why your bench isn't what mine is. So.
Gosh.
Just kidding. This guy could squat me out of any gym and deadlift and literally any lift but press.
I'm going to start doing 20 grams of creatine a day.
20 grams. It's a loading dose.
And benching every day.
When I was in high school,
watch, dude, in 6 months I'm going to bench 400 pounds.
That's you probably will.
No, I'm just kidding.
Anything you put your mind to. When I was in high school, I was so embarrassed by like my bench, and I remember my dad got me like a little set for the garage, and I would just like go out there and just crush like a little trigger session. Like I'd hit 4 or 5 sets to burn out, and I remember like going back like 6 months into weight class, and we were testing bench again, and it jumped like, I don't know, 30 pounds maybe or whatever. And I was like, fuck yeah, like let's go. And then from there I was like, yeah, that's my lift, dude. I'm just gonna.
How much you bench?
Yeah,
that's really all that matters, honestly. How much
yeah,
you
it's
bench.
the only thing that matters.
Yeah,
I'll be able to shove a bear off of me when it comes out.
In the likely situation that
Yeah, when I'm in the woods,
that happens,
and my family's being attacked by a grizzly,
you'll be able to push it off.
and somehow he's set up in a position where I could get a good, like
You got a bench press
like a
him.
tackle, like get him by the.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, natural source of creatine is red meat,
Red meat.
right? And I think this is where I kind of struggle a little bit with the supplementation of it, or like supplementing it hard.
Mm.
Is our natural source of it is red meat, and if you're eating red meat, twice a day, twice a day,
Yeah, you're getting a lot of it.
which I think is okay. Like I eat red meat typically.
I think I've
twice a
heard it
day.
said that there's like in 1 pound of ground beef, there's like 2 grams of creatine.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
So like, I mean, you're thinking, like if I was just gonna eat ground beef for a day, I could crush probably 2 pounds as like for the day
Yeah.
as like my total protein source. If that was all I was having,
Yep.
That's
It's
exaggerated.
about 200 grams of protein.
But yeah, right there you're having 4 grams of natural creatine. Like that's insane.
Yeah. So I wonder what, if you're consuming 5 grams of creatine a day,
Mm-hmm.
but you're a 120-pound woman, like, would you ever be in the situation that you're eating 3 pounds of red meat in a day? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything. I don't think that necessarily means that supplementing with 5 grams of creatine a day can be a bad thing.
Yeah, I imagine you just waste out whatever doesn't get absorbed, I think is how.
Yeah.
That's probably where you get into the conversation of, folks say it's like poor for your kidney health and things like that, which is, for everything I've seen of recent is not true. Like,
No.
You're not going to have like poor kidney health or liver health or things like that because you're consuming creatine.
I've seen more recent things of people consuming 5 to 10 grams a day, and just seeing more positive results. So, but I think once you get to a point where you're saturated,
you're not going to absorb anymore.
Yeah.
And it actually, from what I've seen, is it'll last in your system like up to like 30 days. So you could take it consistently for weeks and weeks and weeks, stop taking it, and you would still have that
kind of back
to tap into as it, you kind of deplete it over time.
Yeah.
But almost, I was thinking to your point, like, and not to get into the weeds on creatine specifically, but like, yeah, if you're like supplementing 5 grams every day, but then your diet looks like, okay, through my nutrition, I had 4 grams today, 2 grams yesterday, 5 grams, like, and you're inconsistently getting like 8, 10, 6, like, what does that look like in the long term?
Yeah.
Be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out.